Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Hello, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? If you can hear me, please chat in the box. Send a message in the chat box. Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me? Okay, can we start? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, good evening once again. You are welcome to today's class on chemistry of lip. So can you also see my screen? Can you see chemistry of lipids? Can you see my screen, chemistry of lipids? Please respond. Can you see my screen, chemistry of lipids? Good. We are having send your names, your name and your program. Name and department. Hello, can you send your name and departments? Hello, can you hear me? Okay, can you send your names and department, name and departments, those that are already online? Let us first and foremost understand what biochemistry is. We'll look at the concept of cell, and then we'll proceed with the lipid chemistry. So, what is biochemistry? Biochemistry is a scientific study of chemical composition of living matter and of the chemical processes that take place in living organisms. It is just basically the study of chemical processes that are occurring in living organisms. And if we look at the uh, biochemistry, we can say we can look at the concept of what we call metabolism. Metabolism, it's the total sum of all the reactions that are taking place in the body, and we can have it divided into two. We can have anabolism, which are the reactions or processes that produces macromolecules. Okay, from monomeric units to larger polymeric units. That is anabolism. And we can have catabolism, which involves the breaking down of such polymeric substances into monomeric units that are absorbable by the cells and tissues in the cell. So, if we want to understand the biochemistry fully, we need to understand what a cell is. And a cell, from our basic biology, we know that it's the basic unit of life. It is the basic structural and functional unit of life that is capable of independent existence. And we can say, if we look at it structurally, we can say that the cell is composed of the cell membrane, which is the outer covering of the cell. Okay, it protects the cell. It protects the cell in the sense that it regulates what goes inside the cell and also what comes outside the cell. So we are going to in details, we are going to be looking at the components of that cell membrane. And the second part is the cytoplasm, and which is the environment in which organelles are situated. And we have the nucleus, which houses the genetic material, DNA and RNA. So the cell could either be prokaryotic or eukaryotic cells from your basic biology. So the chemical processes occurring in living organisms occur in the cells, leading to either breaking down of substances or synthesis of those substances. And these molecules are needed to sustain life. And that is why the molecules are now called what? Biomolecules, meaning that molecules of life. So basically, we have how many types of biomolecules? We have four different types of biomolecules that are very important. We have the carbohydrates, we have the nucleic acids, we have the proteins, and also the lipids. So in other courses, you will be discussing about chemistry of carbohydrates. You in another course, you will be discussing about nucleic acid chemistry, and another one you will be discussing about protein chemistry, protein and amino acid chemistry. So, but for the purpose of this our class, we'll be discussing about what? The chemistry of lipids. So, let me come back to the chat and ask whether you can hear me. Can you hear me? Can you see my slides and can you hear me? Can you see my slides and can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Are you there? So we know that each of these molecules they have their own peculiar characteristics, and which they have their distinctive feature. That's one macromolecule differs from another. So we are going to be looking at now lipid chemistry, and in other courses, as I have explained, you are going to be discussing about the other macromolecules. So what's now we are going to be discussing chemistry of lipids, and when we said we want to define what lipids are, we call them biological lipids. They are important macromolecules that are found in all living organisms and in all living cells. It is the only macromolecule among the four that does not have a specific monomeric unit. If you look at proteins, they have monomeric units, which are the amino acids. Carbohydrates, they have monomeric units, which are the simple sugars, glucose, fructose, right? Mannose, uh, and so on. So, and if you look at nucleic acid, they have monomeric units. We have the what? the nucleotide, right? So, and for lipids, they don't have specific monomeric units, and the word lipid is derived or was derived from the Greek word that is lipos, meaning fats. And for if you want to define lipids, you can say they are a group of heterogeneous molecules that are water insoluble, but they are group of water insoluble organic molecules that can be extracted from tissues by non-polar solvent. And the common and defining feature of which is their what insolubility in water. And this lipid make up about 18 to 25% of body mass in a